Good afternoon, this is Newsbeat Live on Metro TV. Today we bring you the Founders Day edition of the news. My name is Winston Taki. And now to the major headlines for today. The LPG marketers call off strike following government decision to lift the ban on the construction of new gas stations across the country. In other news, persons have been confirmed dead in an accident that occurred on the Cape Coast Takoradi Road on Wednesday. 14 people killed. Now, following our earlier report, pupils of HTLMA Basic School at Instawam study at an old cemetery despite the MC's decision that this has not continued for some time now. On the international front, Nigeria's government approved the purchase of vehicles worth over 1.4 billion naira for its northern neighbor, Niger, to help improve security. And now to our first story. Government has taken a decision to lift the ban it imposed in 2017 on the construction of liquefied petroleum stations. In a statement, the National Petroleum Authority has asked all oil marketing companies and LPG companies to begin the processes for approval. The decision was arrived at a Cabinet's 35th sitting held on Wednesday. This latest move follows the ongoing strike by tanker drivers and LPG marketing companies over the issue. They have complained about their working conditions and treatment from the authority and the bulk oil storage and transportation company. The drivers have also raised concerns with the sales and tracking devices that check integrity of the fuel in the transportation process. Now, the LPG marketers, through a unanimous decision, have called off their strike. This decision follows the government's decision to lift the ban on the construction of ongoing new LPG stations across the country. My colleague Elvis Andor joins us with updates.
Our drivers complain of we not paying them well. When we met them this morning, we've assured them that we are going to work very, very, very seriously to improve on their salary. The second request, that is the lifting of the ban on construction, had been granted by Cabinet as at yesterday. The third request, which is the harassment of drivers as a result of a new tracking device that has been introduced into the system, that is creating a lot of confusion, that has led to about 76 drivers losing their lives, is still outstanding and unresolved. Fortunately for us, there is a meeting tomorrow to try and resolve these and other issues. We will be at that meeting at the ministry with our drivers to sit with MPA and the ministry to amicably resolve that pending issue. Looking at the response of government, we, the LPG marketing companies and the LPG retailers, have decided that we call off our strike action, which began on Monday, and open our station for business with immediate effect. We have tried to convince our drivers to go back to work. Unfortunately, the drivers were prepared to meet the authority today to finalize the outstanding issue so together we can go back to work. But unfortunately, today is a holiday. Fortunately, there is a meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. The drivers have assured us that tomorrow morning, when we go to the ministry and that issue is resolved, they are also going to go back to work immediately. We have a very short press release here that we want to read for the attention of the general public. Release. LPG marketers call of strike. We, the LPG Marketing Companies Association of Ghana, welcome government decision.
Now, on the back of this, our Central Regional Correspondent, Akwesi Ado, has also been visiting some gas stations and joins us via Zoom for more. Good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat.
Okay, good afternoon, Winston.
What can you report from your assessment of some LPG stations in the region?
Okay, Winston, so following the announcement that was made by the association, we have had LPG operators here in the central region resuming their activities. And so from then on, as you can see behind me, persons who were seeking to buy gas do now have gas being sold to them by the operators here in the region. Now, let us take note that the strike action was taken mainly by, let me say, the big operators within the region here. And so even though it became sort of a challenge for people to have access to gas, it wasn't as difficult as the other regions may have been, because some of the smaller operators decided to, even though in full course of the strike action, go ahead to operate within the region. But as of today, all the big operators within the region have resumed their operations here.
All right, Akwesi, how has there been the customers so far at the queue and the line, and are people trooping in to buy gas as they frequently used to?
Okay, so Winston, there's not been too many long queues at the various gas stations here in the region, but except that persons are telling me that they actually found it difficult getting gas because they had to be moving to and fro just to find a station that was still operating in the midst of the strike action. But now that they have resumed operations, at least they can now have a sigh of relief.
All right, Akwesi, we are grateful for your time. Akwesi Ado is our Central Regional Correspondent and joins us here on Zoom. Now, away from that, 14 persons have been confirmed dead in an accident that occurred on the Cape Coast Takoradi Road on Wednesday. According to an eyewitness, a long truck belonging to Mississippi Logistics, fully loaded with cement heading towards Cape Coast, collided with a passenger van from the opposite direction. The eyewitness also mentioned that the portion of the road had been covered with a thick smoke from a farm that was being burnt, causing a very poor visibility. 14 out of 15 persons who were on board the passenger vehicle died instantly, whilst one female passenger in a very critical condition was rushed to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Bodies of the deceased have also been deposited at the morgue of some facility for preservation. Residents of 5 towns in the Asunafo North municipality of the Ahafo region are threatening to stage a series of demonstrations over the poor nature of their road. Construction works on the main road that link the communities to the regional capital came to a sudden halt immediately after the 2020 elections.
Bumpy and dusty during the dry season and becomes nearly unmotorable when it rains. Carting of food produce and other wares have become difficult for residents in the area. traveling from Kasapin, Ampenkro, Asante Council, Setrekrum, Dominase to the half-original capital, Goso, comes with discomfort. Most vehicles have stopped plying the road, which was once an alternative for Ivory Coast-bound track, causing a negative impact on the local economy. Motorbikes have become the most reliable transport option and, in some cases, tricycle. Even though a contractor, Kofi Job Constructions, was awarded the contract to put the road in a perfect shape prior to the 2020 general elections, construction works came to a sudden halt right after the elections. Deep excavations that were made by the contractor for culvert works have been left uncovered and have now become death trap. About 10 motor riders have fallen and died in such holes. For the aged in these communities, movements have been restricted as they find it difficult climbing uncovered drains. Unhappy residents say they are massing up for a demonstration.
Nipa minim kra blue boy, Kofi Mensa, yaw manu, na eja pepara. Nipa nan ho ade, yaw esesa nipa nyina ewu ekwan so.
4 members of this community have lost their lives due to the poor state of the road.
Ni nyina afu so ama ekwan nyina sai. Hwe ye nchense dan so nyina. Mfuto nkwa na okuye. Ntuka sape na kata nyina de achew.
These traders who find it difficult carting their wares from the Kasapin market also spoke to Metro News.
The road is in a very bad state. When it rains, for instance, we find it very difficult to use it.
Razak Abdul is assemblyman for Kasapin electoral area. He cannot understand why the area is lagging behind the development ladder, even though available records shows that the Kasapin district is a leading cocoa producing district in the country. He agrees with the residents to stage a demonstration to demand for quality road.
It's the largest cocoa producing district in the history of this country, at the cocoa board. And since this government came into power, they have constructed a lot of cocoa roads, and Kasapin has not benefited from it. We feel like cheated. Because we cannot be the dish without produce enough cocoa to this country for the country to benefit from it. And when something is being given back to cocoa farmers, nothing is being given to them.
Now, residents of Antoa in the Kwabre East municipality of the Ashanti region have threatened not to vote for the ruling MPP again in the 2024 general elections. According to them, Antoa and its adjoining communities have not seen any improvement in the road networks despite all the assurances by successive governments.
A press conference, the convener of the group, Kwatin Ameni Kito, who doubles as the unit committee chairman of Antoa electoral area, said countless efforts have been made over the past years to get the road network which link Antoa and its adjoining communities fixed, but to no avail. Kwatin Ameni Kito said the challenges of poor road network cuts across several communities in the Ashanti region, which he said retards development. He again expressed disappointment in the Member of Parliament for the area, Francisca Otin Mensah, for neglecting her people.
The
NPP, which used to be in our DNA, is no longer there. The party has maltreated us, especially Kwabre East. The saddest of it all has to do with the MP for the area. We voted for her and she had over 71,000 votes.
The assembly member for Antoa Krobo electoral area, Augustus Asiedu, together with some aggrieved residents and motorists, also spoke to Metro News about the poor nature of the road.
There's been no developmental works in the Ashanti region. All they know is the cutting of swords. What at all can the Ashanti region and the people of Kwabre boast about the MPP?
I said, Antoa Road is beyond lobbying. So nobody should be at any place to say that because somebody is not lobbying, that's why the road are not be done. It has been intentionally.
We will not vote again. We will prevent people from voting whenever they bring the ballot boxes because our roads are very bad due to the nature of the road. We can't even move about to search for jobs.
We are pleading with the government to fix our roads, else the people of Antua will not vote for the MPP again. Whether they like it or not, they have to fix our roads.
Let's keep staying on the roads. Now, the Municipal Chief Executive of the Swame Municipal Assembly, Maxwell Ofosu-Boakye, says President Akufo-Addo would in September cut the salt for the commencement of the Swame Interchange project. This follows the approval of 135 million euros by Parliament to be used to finance the design and construction of Phase 1 of the Swame Interchange and ancillary road networks in the constituency.
Roads around Swame Roundabout, Offenso Techiman and other ancillary roads around Swame Magazine are deplorable. This prompted residents and some artisans at Swame Magazine to protest. A week later, Parliament approved a loan agreement of 135 million euros for the construction of the interchange and ancillary road project of Swame. Speaking exclusively to Metro News, Municipal Chief Executive of Swame, Maxwell Ofosu-Boakye, was happy about the approval. He disclosed President Akufo-Addo will cut the salt for the project to commence in September. It is expected to be completed in 36 months.
Last 2 weeks, when the President met all government appointees, he came up strongly, and the Roads Minister was called upon to explain to us the state in which it is. And he told us by September, all will be ready for the President to break grounds for the commencement of the project. And thankfully, I think it was laid before Parliament 2 days ago, or yesterday. I'm sure it's yesterday, yes. So, government is spending 187 million euros, 140 million for the interchange itself, and then the arterial roads will also cost us, and the other ancillary facilities will also cost us 47 million Ghana cedis. So we pray that by September, all will be set for the President to break ground for the commencement of the project.
Some motorists and residents in the area around Swame municipality shared their views about the upcoming project, with a call on authorities to create alternative routes to ease traffic flow.
Some roundabout you probably especially cars no traffic na echia kubakina for cars na edu ase ya itime fo bepo no na ama atiasa de bia tina twiji fan kofo so ase etinu say overhead ndo mbe dia ya mienu mikro kebe yede pa say ombetina ya maye na yesra omo start ya momo mfanya politics enye de enya ngu ho eba mo sanka enya ngu na omo yede omfa bepo botansa omo nto aso no yede omo nya maye na bia yede efio na traffic echi wo kumasi de bebe na no eto yede entwa maye
hu say asampa esa say interchange bebe ya hu so maye bi opoko ase ne cycle ho no ma dem fa so bebe aba ti kumasi ahwe ani mu ache ye kwa nem say kombe ne ba be 2 years time ba so mbe chance ya de ya kan say nyame mu omo na omo ntimi na timpo pa abeya abebo makumasi so afa no ma perfra omo nya maye
we no be ndie obeya e preso se ya raba fo ye chire kumasi ya kwa ina traffic kwa ya makura unya sika tisabaso obe waje tu so obe sa de ne September dia ye preso omo ye maye anse tebo na baso so otime bia se afere kwa akonya base opese wo yo head ma asanteman e de so obe maye ne a onano aka waka no wari wonka no wari a e de ye yitum so omo ye maye.
Now, away from that, the Asokore Mampon Magistrate Court, presided over by His Lordship Samuel Kwanzaa on Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022, remanded into custody to reappear on August 18th, 2022, 6th second-year student of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi for allegedly gang-raping a first-year student of the school. The 6 students are Patrick Fosu, Edwin Ninoy Kweno, John Wilson, Kingsley Asiedu Andor, Thomas Nee and Asiedu Eric. Speaking to the media after the court hearing, the lead prosecutor of the Shanti Regional Police Command, ACP Kofi Blagoji, said the case has been adjourned to August 18 in order for it to be transferred to a higher court which has jurisdiction to hear the case. Meanwhile, the counsel for the 6 accused persons said the fact presented to them has nothing to suggest there was a rape case. So they will take steps and go to the appropriate court and apply for bail for the accused persons as the case is pending before the court.
This is a magistrate court, and as I indicated to the court, this is a court of first instance. There are matters of this sort, like rape, defilement, which is the first degree felony offenses are being put. And then this is exactly what we did. We arraigned the accused persons before the magistrate judge, and then they were remanded. We argued that the police are still investigating the matter. So we want them to be remanded in our custody, and the court did that for us. I just draw the attention of the court that the chunk of our resources goes into the education sector. So the only thing the students can do is to reciprocate the gesture, the opportunity being given to them by government, by working hard to also help in the nation building. But we can't invest so much in our education sector and then find other investees and they start misbehaving this way, which is uncalled for. That's exactly what I draw the court's attention to. It's very unfortunate that this is happening. But I think now the awareness is being created a lot. So any issue of this sort, it comes out into the public domain. Unlike those days where people sit in their homes and they don't want to come out with these issues. So only advise our students to be very careful. And whatever they find themselves, it's not particular to KNUST alone. It's happening in other institutions. So we are only praying that, and then warning our students to be very careful, that at least they should complement the effort of government, what the government is doing for them. I think she's writing exams, and I think the investor authorities are counseling her. It's in their domain, and then police should also come at appropriate time.
These are students of KNUST who have been accused of rape. Looking at the facts that has been presented to us, honestly, we don't see rape, but that's what they have been accused of. And once someone is accused, the law says that that person is innocent until proven guilty or the person pleads otherwise. So now, until they plead that they are guilty or until a court of competent jurisdiction finds them guilty, they are innocent. At this material moment, this is a court of first instance, and they have been brought here for purposes of remanding them in lawful custody. So we are also going to take steps and go to the appropriate forum and then apply for bail.
Now, some female students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have expressed fear following the recent gang rape of a student on campus.
One thing that came in my mind is the security of the school, how everything is going, that things will happen, people will not see. So one thing that just came in my mind, that the security nowadays is very poor. Yesterday I was going to even take my bath and I was telling my roommates that, hey, what if I go out and these people grab me? So I was just afraid.
They have to be punished. Yeah, I have to say that they have to be punished because what they did is not. I don't know about about what happened. I don't know the girl's side. I don't know the boy's side. But what they did was not fair.
The girl's boyfriend is part of the rape, so I think girls on campus shouldn't be going to people's hostels without anyone. Yes, that's what I think. You shouldn't go alone and all that. You should at least have someone.
Now, we are being joined on Zoom by our Ashanti regional correspondent, Abdul Bassett. Good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Now, in your interaction with some of the students, what could you tell the whole mood on campus currently?
Yeah, I can say for a fact that there is some kind of fear among the students, particularly the female students. They've expressed fear about the incident which occurred, because it's not the first time such incident occurred. Within this month, this is the second one. The first one was even involving a police personnel together with the level 400 students of the same school. So when this one happened, it has got some kind of fear among the students, particularly the female students here on campus.
How has there been cases of such instances being handled by the school authority?
Fortunately, these two cases are still pending at the law court. You know, yesterday, the Kumasi, the Asukariman.
All right, we'll get back to Abdul Basit on this issue because it seems most female students on campus are expressing fear with regards to the consistent reported cases of gang rape among students. This is a very disturbing situation. We hope the justice will speak to that effect, but that is not for us to say. We hope that it is in the House of Court. We'll get back to that. Now let's take a break. When we come back, we'll give you more updates on the Newsbeat live on Metro TV. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
This is where the students are facing when they are having their everyday classes. Is this place a defunct cemetery or not?
Yes, please, it is. Even you can see from behind. Currently, they are still burying people there.
Welcome back to Newsbeat Live on Metro TV. We are also streaming live on our Facebook page at Metro TV GH and on Twitter as well. Now to more news. Metro News can confirm that pupils of the Esiao MA Basic School are indeed studying in a defunct cemetery as against the municipal chief executive denial of the issue. Following MCE Isaac Boabin's claim of the school also being established less than a year ago, Metro News visited the school and maintains pupils have been studying for about 3 years. There is more actually in this report by Shadrach Ejari.
Teachers from there were charadi but baby I won any. Yawahanuma, Kaka, and Suter, we are born a team, or walk right to me back now a better film. Na Yaves Catefian, your cocoa baby atina, say Bibia to Transana, Yena Babetina, Emma, I see your boom, say every best school.
You may be looking at several stones peering through the ground. These are no mere stones. They are remnants of a graveyard. Where these students are studying is a defunct cemetery. After this story was aired, the MC for Nsaom Adwejiri, Mr. Boabin, said, as purported in the story, that these students or these pupils are studying in a defunct cemetery. It's not true. He has been here, and then the students are not in a defunct cemetery, neither are they near a cemetery. I am currently standing in class 4 or the stage 4 classroom. This tree is where the stage 4 pupils learn. I'm going to turn the timer on my phone on, and then we'll walk from the defunct cemetery to the main cemetery where the graveyard is. Then you can determine if what we reported was true or not. So this is my stopwatch on my phone. I'll hit the start button. It has started recording. We walk from class 4, and then mind you, where class 4 is also serving as the staff common room. So we walk from class 4 and then we enter the graveyard. So from here, in 19-20 seconds, I am in the cemetery. This is the main cemetery. This is where people have been buried. And this is where the students are facing when they are having their everyday classes. So right there in your shot, you can see graves of people here in the Esiao Basic School. So they are, or the pupils are actually studying at a defunct cemetery. And then they are also faced by a cemetery which is more so an active one, because when you watch from my extreme left there, that one is not even done, it's not been fully constructed yet, meaning the person there was buried not long ago. So this is it, to prove that we never feed you with false or fake stories. This is actually the plight of pupils here in the Esiao Basic School. The next bone of contention is the fact that these pupils have been studying here for over 3 years. That also the MCE denied, claiming this school started last year, which is 2021 September. so it is barely a year old. We would get to interact with other people to find out, one from pupils, when they started school here and then their current stage, and also find out from other residents when they saw the school starting up. So let's get on to that too. You are the assembly member here. You live here?
Yes, I live at Akwanedo, bro.
But you are oftentimes here?
Yes, please. Almost every day.
Okay. So first, can you confirm where we are currently standing? We are in the class 5 and 4 classroom. Is this place a defunct cemetery or not?
Yes, please, it is. Even you can see from behind. It's currently they are still burying people there, so it's a cemetery.
And again, let me ask you: how long have students been studying here?
Since 2019.
Since 2019.
Yes, please.
The MCE says the school is new. It started in September, which is 2021 September.
It's never true. Those who started schooling here, some are even in class 3 now.
They started from which stage?
They started from KG and they are now in class 3. So it's never true.
So pupils here have been studying for 3 or more years?
Yeah, for 3 or more years. Yes, please.
What effort have you put in to get the assembly to work on this school? I mean, give you the needed help?
Yeah, we've written a series of letters to the assembly for support. Even the last time we wrote a letter, we took pictures of the structures here. So we add a letter to it. We send it to MCE. We took a covering letter from him. We sent it to Gassen Foundation so that they can also even come to our aid. So they know about it. Even last time we were fighting for school feeding, and that it was not given to us.
I've been here for a long time. I was born here, so I know all what is going on. Even this building, which is a church, all these places is a cemetery, former cemetery, before we gave it to them. If we look at all these places, there are some monuments all over this place. So, for MCA, I have spoken to him. I've sent with the new site that we are building. I've sent pictures to him that this is where we've reached. So the children need a place to stay or to learn. So he should help us. I sent the pictures to him, and he said we'll do something about it. But up to now, the pictures are on my phone now. So he cannot say I've not sent anything to him. That whatever I send the messages and what is under it, you can see it. It's not that I'm doing, but it's a fact that I'm saying. Let me see. Let me see.
Maybe just type how you. Okay.
Yes. This is the picture of the new site that I showed you, and what is written under it.
It reads. So this is to the MC, Mr. Boabin.
Yes.
It's, I'm seeing a picture of the structure.
Yes.
And then it says, Chief, this is the stage I have gotten to for the school at Esiao Krum. Please, the children need a place to learn, and I need your help, Chief. And he said, okay. No reply came again. And then later on, there was a different conversation. Yeah, what was I saying?
Gerald Gota.
Gerald Gota.
Gerald Gota.
Okay. What class say?
Class 3.
Class 3. Which school has what time?
2019.
2019. Now what class say?
KG2.
Now what KG2? Inti what about KG2 now about bedroom class say?
3.
Class 3. Who free Chrome Happy? This is the full facts. So we all can be the judges for ourselves. From here in Esiao in the Nsawam Adwejiri municipality, Shadrach Odami Ejari for Metro News.
Still staying on the story of children, women and children's rights advocate Ifua Edechidi has urged the newly appointed Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection and her deputy to prioritize effort in pushing for the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill, which has been in and out of Parliament for more than 10 years. She's also urging the two to learn from the mistakes of Domi Kwabinya MP Sarah Adjoa, who has recently been sacked by the president over failing to show up for her executive and legislative duties for nearly a year.
We've been through this before. We've been there, done that. And it seems the story doesn't seem to change. You recall in 2020, when it was in 2020, right? Or 2021, when Adjoa was appointed, the first thing she did was to bring together stakeholders, all players in the gender, children, and social protection space. And we spent quite some time with her, spoke with her, discussed issues that we discussed at length areas where she should prioritize. She thanked us and we left, only for us to witness what happened. I don't want to go back there. It was very disappointing that a whole minister became a TikToker, will be, throwing shade, and it looked as if the ministry became a charade, a playground. And so I'm indifferent. I don't know what is going to be different with this new appointment. However, I've not lost all hope. I am still thinking that Hajia Lariba should be smart enough. I know Francisca Oting is a very smart, young, and ambitious woman. And so I am praying that both of them, Jojo, bring together civil society, bring together all stakeholders in the gender, social protection, and children's sector, strategize on how to push the ministry forward. Also, I'm thinking that her number one priority should be the Affirmative Action Bill, because 1993 till 2022 is just way too long for a country that is actually the torchbearer on gender issues at the African Union. It's way too long. We believe that women need to be at the decision-making table, because you cannot take decisions affecting people without being in their shoes. You understand? For instance, recently we talked about taxing sanitary pads. I am sure that if we have enough women who are very educated, who are empowered with a legal framework, which is what the Affirmative Action Bill that we are talking about, together we'll form a solid team and we'll be heard.
It's now time to bring you the latest update from the world of business. And now to a first business story. The Deputy Director of Nuclear and Alternative Energy at the Ministry of Energy, Robert Sogbaji, says Ghana has begun engaging vendor countries in its quest to establish the first ever nuclear plant in the country. According to him, the project, when completed, will provide electricity at a cheap cost to Ghanaians.
Ghana has so far completed phase 1 of its nuclear power project aimed at adding nuclear energy to Ghana's electricity mix. The workshop organized by Nuclear Power Ghana was therefore targeted at building the capacity of journalists in writing news stories on nuclear energy and Ghana's nuclear power project. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Deputy Director of Nuclear and Alternative Energy at the Ministry of Energy, Robert Sogbaji, says countries including Russia, China, and the UK have all expressed interest in becoming vendors for the project.
Government has taken steps to make sure that nuclear is gradually introduced into the energy mix by bringing nuclear, the Ghana Nuclear Power Program being established in 2012 to bring out the terms and reference to make sure that the roadmap is set for our nuclear program. And then establishing the Nuclear Regulatory Authority in 2016 to make sure that the regulation of the process is ongoing, and then the owner-operator, which is Nuclear Power Ghana Limited. So these three arms of government, our institutions have been established, making Ghana very ready to go nuclear. And as at now, Ghana has issued a request for information which will later identify the vendor country and the vendor technology.
He added the nuclear project, which is the safest form of energy, will help provide cheap electricity for the ordinary Ghanaian.
In this our age where we are going through energy transition to get clean energy, nuclear is supposed to play a vital role to provide our clean base load. And this is the time to start our nuclear program to make sure that we gradually introduce nuclear into the generation mix. Because whether you do it now or later, the energy transition is going to catch up with us, and we will not be able to access the green market because we will not be able to have products from green energy sources such as nuclear and the renewables. So that is why this nuclear agenda, it is not fanciful, but it is a matter of economic intervention.
Nuclear Power Ghana, the institution set up to own and manage Ghana's first nuclear project, says it will prioritize safety throughout the lifespan of the project.
Now, the director of the Institute of Social, Statistical and Economic Research, ISA, has projected that the media revenue handles will experience challenges as the main flagship electronic transaction levy fell below its targeted projections.
Then post-COVID, post-Russia-Ukraine war, you've seen what was happening. Inflation was single digits, and now it's 27, 29. So it tells you that we're not the same. But what is important is for you to have your domestic policies crafted in a way that you'll be resilient. Anytime there is shock, you'll be able to fight the shock. That is the difference. As for shock, we are bound to come, and we all face different kinds of shocks, depending on our degree, our strength, our ability to withstand the shock. Revenues were 96 billion. That's the target during the mid-year. In the main budget was 100 and some. Yes, we see it's ambitious because a deficit of 6.6% of GDP, when we are currently around 7-8%, we think in an austere year, in crisis, if you want to reduce your deficit by so much, it becomes quite difficult. That's why we say this is ambitious. We also look at the revenue handles. E-levy is not yielding much as we speak. And what are the new ways which you can raise this extra revenue? So we feel the revenue handle will be challenged. Then on the expenditure side, we saw the labor agitations. Perhaps there may be more to come. When interest rates, inflation increases, exchange rate depreciates, government's debt service would also go up. So your expenditure you're likely to deviate. That is why we think the 6.6 is perhaps maybe 7 or 7.2 might be a realistic target, but 6.6 might be a difficult one to achieve.
We have more news for you after this break. Keep watching Newsbeat. We'll be back. Now, time for sports. Now, Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia has said Akufo-Addo's government has prioritized the development of Zongo communities more than previous government. Speaking at the commissioning of an AstroTurf park at Bantama, he said government will see to the equal distribution of development in all areas of the country.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was addressing the chiefs and people of Bushine community in the Bantama constituency of the Ashanti region, where he officially commissioned a community standard AstroTurf Sports and Social Center on Tuesday, August 2, 2022 at Bushine. Dr. Bawumia noted that the spread of AstroTurf within communities across the country would not only rekindle interest in sports activities and help unearth more talents, but it will help promote fitness and curb social vices among the youth in the society. He stressed that the commissioning of the Bushine AstroTurf through the support and funding from the Zango Development Fund add to the remarkable number of modern AstroTurfs the government of President Akufo-Addo has built in various communities.
Yenche a BB said Zongo Development Fund. Said every year be a Fibia de Sikabetum na Omodia CSA Ghana Henina. Because Yanyesa Zongo for Yabakachiri. Zongo Development Fund inquire 19 astrotapes. A more complete more than 10 this year.
The Member of Parliament for Bantama constituency, Francis Asenso Boache, who doubles as the Minister for Works and Housing, together with the Chief of Bushen, Nana Entry Boeseako, whilst commending the government for bringing development in the area, also appealed for infrastructure development in the area of road, network and jobs for the youth.
These communities. Now the air can say, you better buy boy, now your community roads no. You're hearing now my said you're crying. Yeah, baby, to say East Legon, mo baby, asphalt no so. Bantman so no. You better associate asphalt.
Now, the Ghana Football Association GFA on August 3rd signed a 3-year deal with betting company BetPower to become the official headline sponsor of the Ghana Premier League ahead of the 2022-2023 season. The deal with BetPower, according to the Ghana Football Association President Kurt E.S. Okreku, is worth $6 million, and the decision to bring on board BetPower is to make the league lucrative and self-sustaining in order to stay competitive.
It's obvious that when you have monies coming in, things would obviously improve. Okay? Ghana abounds with football talent. There's no doubt about it. But it takes resources to develop the talent. And if you lack such resources, you might not be able to develop the talent that is abundant in the country. So if now we're getting some influx of money into the system, I believe it would improve a lot of things for us.
We are aware of what goes into the legacy project, what goes into the locker room bonuses, and then what goes into support for the clubs. But this is not all. As a FA, we continue to seek partnerships of mutual benefit to the FA and the partners. And indeed, when we talk about the FA, we talk about the membership of the FA. And so we are not ending here. We continue to pursue the agenda of getting on board sponsors. I've always said that title sponsorship, I've never been an advocate of just title sponsorship. We need sponsors across all the spheres of what we do. And so we'll continue in that quest to seek partnerships of mutual benefits to both the partners and then
It's now time for some entertainment news. Theatre in Ghana has come a long way from oral traditional storytelling to properly staged plays. Whilst Ghanaians continue to appreciate stage plays, the theatre industry requires more support. Speaking to Kwabena Yeboah, head of production for Riverman Production on Entertainment Review, he stated that more funds are needed for stage production.
The appreciation for theatre in Ghana is growing. Many more people are getting introduced to the modern theatre, which have all been modernized from traditional storytelling, where villagers will gather and perform stories. Although Ghanaians are patronizing stage plays, which has come a long way, there's more to what the theatre industry needs. Speaking to Kwabena Yeboah, head of productions for Riverman Production on Entertainment Review, on how to get theatre in Ghana to thrive, he expressed that while unity in theatre is key, more investment is required to support stage productions.
I think unity amongst us as theatre groups is key. Again, there should be a lot of grants if there is, because I think the basic question is people need money to be able to fund their dreams.
Yeah.
Without it, it's not going anywhere. You might have a great script, it will forever remain a script if you don't have the money to do that production.
and cost of living is very high. So the same theater you went to ask yesterday that was costing you 30,000, a week later it's costing you 45.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult. The basic question is people need money. If they could get some bit of help,
money.
I'm sure we'll be able to get more productions. And I mean, they are doing well. I think there's more support from each other now than it was before. We stop seeing ourselves as competitors with other people. Yeah. Because if your show is not good, I can tell you that the people that came to your show, they are not coming to my show.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't enjoy your show, they are not coming to my show.
Yeah.
So I pray your show goes well, so that the next time when they hear another theater show, they want to come.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically where we need to start.
Now let's bring you an update on news making rounds across the world.
Nigeria's government says it approved the purchase of vehicles worth over 1.4 billion naira for its northern neighbor, Niger, to help improve security. It comes as Nigeria continues to struggle with rising insecurity as armed gangs step up attacks on communities and major roads, including kidnapping. Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed told journalists in the capital Abuja on Wednesday that this was to enhance the capacity of the Niger Republic to protect its border territories with Nigeria. Nigeria and Niger, in addition to Cameroon and Chad, share long borders and are affected by jihadist insurgencies. Senegal's opposition has called for the suspension of the publication of the results of Sunday's legislative elections to examine its complaints over alleged irregularities and fraud. Both the government and opposition camps are claiming victory after Sunday's vote to renew the 165 seats in the National Assembly, which is largely controlled by the presidential coalition. A 62-year-old Frenchman survived for 16 hours after his sailing boat capsized by staying in an air bubble. The 12-meter vessel, which had set sail from Portugal's capital, Lisbon, set out a distress signal late on Monday evening from the Atlantic Ocean. Spanish Coast Guards found the upturned boat, but the sea was too rough to rescue him, so the sailor had to wait until morning. The rescue ship carrying 5 divers as well as 3 helicopters set off to find and rescue the man, who has not yet been named. China fired multiple missiles toward waters near northeastern and southwestern Taiwan on Thursday, the island's defense ministry said, as Beijing makes good on its promise that Taipei will pay a price for hosting